Good morning, kids. Welcome to Mathematics Year 2 with me, Madam Audrey. Okay, we are still looking at fractions and decimals. Last week, we learned about fraction, right? Recognizing fractions. This week, we compare fractions. We look at the content standards for today. 3.1.5. Okay, compare the value of two proper fractions. Before I introduce you to fraction, we are going to compare, bandingkan. Remember this? Less and more. Okay, which one is less? Which one is more? This is less, right? And this is more. Less maksudnya kurang. More lebih. How about this one? Which has less apples and which has more apples? The first one has less apples. The latter one has more apples. Then we also learn smaller and larger. You remember what is smaller? What is larger? Okay, which one is smaller? Which one is larger? The first photo is larger, so the latter photo is smaller. Yes, the present on the second photo is smaller. The first one, larger. How about this one? We compare the hats. Which one has smaller hat? This one is smaller. This one is larger. You need to remember less, more, less, kurang, more, lebih. Smaller, larger, smaller, lebih kecil, larger, lebih besar. Let's take a look at this picture. She's cutting a cake. And her friend, who is a girl, get one part. The boy, Rishi, get two parts. Okay, this is how the cake was cut. The girl got one part. How many parts were cut? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the girl gets 1/6. How about the boy, Rishi? Okay, we count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there are two parts that are colored. So it's 2/6. Who gets a larger part? 2/6, which is Rishi. Rishi got more, lebih banyak, or larger, lebih besar. So remember, when the denominator is same, Denominator ialah penyebut di bawah. The number below the line of over. Bigger numerator, remember what is numerator? The number on top. Okay, is more or larger. So, if the number below the line is the same, nombor bawah garis itu sama, the number on top, bigger number means more or larger. Nombor di atas kalau lebih besar, maksudnya dia lebih banyak ataupun lebih besar. So we compare 1/6 and 2/6. 2/6 is more or larger. Let's look at these. What are these? These are pizzas. Pizza A and pizza B. Both pizzas are cut into equal parts. How many parts in each pizza? You count and let me know. Each pizza has 8 parts. For A, there are 6/8. For B, 3/8. Which one is more? Which one is less? A has more parts. B has less. So we can say that A is larger than B. Or B is smaller than A. Or you can also say A has more than B. B has less than A. This next example, it's a circle. How many parts in each circle? Count. There are 6 parts. The first one has 3/6. The second one, 4/6. You can say 4/6 is larger than 3/6. 4/6 lebih besar dari 3/6. Or 3/6 is smaller than 4/6. Remember, when the below is the same, the below is the denominator. When the number below is the same, the number above, which is bigger, is more or larger. The number on top, if it's a bigger number, means it's more or larger. Simple, right? Now we look at this example. Okay, the one with the red shade, there are 2 parts. One part is colored, so this is 1/2. How about the green one? How many parts? 3. One part is colored, so it's 1/3. Just now, the first 3 examples, the denominator are the same. penyebut ataupun nombor di bawah itu sama. Now the denominator is different. One is 3, one is 2. How do we compare which is bigger, larger, or smaller? Macam mana kita nak banding? Okay, we put the 1/3 side by side with 1/2. Then we can see it clearer. Here. Isn't it obvious which one is larger? Okay, so you see 1/2 is larger than 1/3 because it's longer. The shaded area is larger. You can say 1/2 is larger than 1/3. Or 1/3 is smaller than 1/2. Okay, tadi contoh, 3 contoh yang pertama, asalkan bawah nombor sama, nombor atas, siapa yang lebih besar? Nombor yang lebih besar bermaksud dia lebih besar. Tapi kalau bawah dia tak sama, okay, kita lihat macam ini. Nombor yang bawah lebih kecil sebenarnya dia lebih besar. Terbalik. It's different. So when the denominator is larger, it's actually smaller. We look at this. This example. The diagram with the yellow shaded area, how many parts? 4, right? One part is shaded, so it's 1/4. How about the one in purple? How many parts? 5. And one colored part, one shaded part, so it's 1/5. We compare these two. Which is larger? The longer one is larger. So we look here. So it's 1/4 is larger than 1/5. Or 1/5 is smaller than 1/4. You can also replace saying 1/4 is more than 1/5. Or 1/5 is less than 1/4. How about this? When the diagram is circle, we look on the diagram on the left. How many parts? 3. One shaded part makes it 1/3. The diagram on the right, how many parts? 8. And one shaded, so 1/8. We can roughly compare. You look at it roughly. Which one is larger? 1/3 is larger, right? So 1/3 is larger than 1/8. Or 1/8 is smaller than 1/3. So in conclusion, you look at this. This is how many parts? 2. So it's 1/2. Next one, 1/3, 1 over 4, 1 over 5, 1 over 6, 1 over 7. How many parts? Not, okay, it's not 8. It's 9. You count. So it's 1 over 9. Last one. 1 over 10. You can compare. 1 over 2 is larger than 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is larger than 1 over 4. 1 over 4 is larger than 1 over 5. 1 over 5 is larger than 1 over 6. 1 over 6 is larger than 1 over 7. 1 over 7, of course, larger than 1 over 8. Then larger than 1 over 9. Last one, 1 over 10. You can see that when the numerator is number on top of the line. Nombor di atas garis ialah numerator. The bigger the denominator, the smaller is the fraction. Nombor di bawah, kalau makin besar, sebenarnya lebih kecil. Kena hati-hati. Okay. Now comes the trickier question. Okay. The one with shaded red is 2 over 3. The one with shaded green, 2 over 4. You look at this. You compare it side to side. You can see which one is larger. Okay, so 2 over 3 is larger than 2 over 4. Or 2 over 4 is smaller than 2 over 3. How about this one? The diagram on the left, how many parts? 4. Shaded part is 1, so it's 1 over 4. How about the one on the right? Count how many parts first. There are 10 parts. So, how many are shaded or colored? There are 7. So, it's 7 over 10. We look at it roughly. Since it's not long, we cannot compare. Kalau dia bukan panjang, kita tak boleh letak tepi sebelah-sebelah macam tu. Susah nak banding. So, we can only roughly compare. Which one is larger? 7 over 10 is larger than 1 over 4. Or 1 over 4 is smaller than 7 over 10. How about this? The diagram on the left, how many parts? 2. With one shaded part, so we call it 1 over 2. The diagram on the right, how many parts? Count. There are 8 parts with how many colors? 3. So it's 3 over 8. You look and compare, banding these two. Which one is larger? 1 over 2 is larger than 3 over 8. So 3 over 8 is smaller than 1 over 2. I hope you have understand what is fraction and how to compare the fraction. You need to look at the diagram to see which one is larger, which one is smaller. Be careful ya. If you can't decide, draw the diagram. Kalau tidak diberi gambar ataupun diagramnya, lukis yang diagram yang memanjang itu. Lebih senang banding. Okay, so your exercise for today is to complete page 93 in your Mathematics Year 2 activity book. That's it for today, class. Thank you and see you again at the next session. Goodbye.